All right. Hello and welcome. It's Al here and Mike from the Music Guy Podcast.com. And we are going to speed mix this song based on the 10-step mix series videos that you can also check out on our YouTube page. And this is a song called Rodeo by an artist named Dylan Wallace from here in Toronto, Canada. So if you enjoy the song, please give him a follow on Spotify and check out his music. And we're going to get right into it because we have very little time here, and we're going to try and get this song mixed. So, step one, import the template. So we're going to go import session data. I just mixed a song of his recently, more of a rock song. It's called Rally Cap, great tune. So I'm going to just import the settings from that mix session into here. So any any tracks that we can match directly, we will. Shaker, tambo, kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, snare verb we'll add in, tom 1, tom 2, hats, rides, overheads, mono rooms, bass DI. Yeah, we'll bring that in on the. Actually, we don't want to bring that in. We want to bring in the tuned one. Drum comp's its own track. Drum VCA is its own track. Bass tuned. Bass tuned. We got acoustic tracks. Where are those? AC guitar. And AC guitar double, perfect. Electric guitar. This is obviously the most boring part of the mix, but saves a lot of time. Will guitar commit. And will guitar commit. Oh, there's also a double of my electric guitar. Do I have a double for that? No, but we can do that in the session. I think that's it maybe for guitar. Oh, there's a lead, so we can put that on our slide track. Organ can go to organ. Dylan's vocal. Throw that on his. Actually, we want to wait for the tuned one, don't we? Guitars, VCA, verb, delay, want all those in. Okay, here we go. So Dylan tuned. Dylan double, tuned, second track of Dylan, which we also have here. Dylan 2 tuned, Dylan 2 double tuned, there we go. Lead Vox VCA, Vox effects, BGs. And then we can bring in for BGs, we'll just use Dylan's actual vocal settings. This master, I guess we can bring in a brand new master fader.
I'm going to scooch in so
I
can see this
get
better.
In here.
Oh.
We'll apply our mix bus settings to the mix bus we already have, I guess. And I guess we can apply this master to the master we already have. Okay, cool. We don't want to import any playlists or clips. So that's good. No audio is coming in. We're just applying our settings. I think that is it. So let's go with that. If we forgot anything, we can always go back and do it again. So now we got a bunch of auxes in here. So let's just organize this. Oops. It's going to actually process a bunch of stuff.
Now, those don't come in like routed, do they? Or
yep, they're all routed. Everything's
so
ready
if
to
you
go.
Press play, it would all work theoretically.
Yep. Let's see.
Yep.
The fellas stop and stare, but she won't bat an eye.
Yeah, there you go. Song's done.
There you go.
I'm gonna turn
1 hour mix.
I'm gonna turn
can
this
you turn
down.
down the gain on my headphones because I am getting it real hot.
Oh yeah, you are. All right, I turn the Pro Tools audio down a little bit. See if hopefully it's not too quiet for folks, but it feels like it's gonna be pretty loud. So I turned it down a bit. All right, but yeah. So in theory, the song is just done or whatever. But we're actually mixing.
You're gonna fine tune stuff.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so we'll just organize everything. Again, this is just kind of boring stuff. Get rid of the scratch vocal, hide, make inactive. Never delete anything, just hide, make inactive. Shaker, tambo, all this stuff. So let's put our snare verb next to our snares. Let's put all our guitars. I just consider all the non-drum instruments guitars in my mixes, because separating out like keyboards and stuff, I don't find that to be very useful for my own workflow. Verb and delay are for the instruments. This group of aux channels is for the vocals, so I put it in between the leads and the backgrounds. These are our background channels here. This verb we can get rid of. Yeah. So now we're just going to have to... I feel like we had some 16th note tambo stuff somewhere. But do we need that? Maybe not.
It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by the...
Homie can sing high.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't need... Yeah, great singer. Killer vocals. Yeah, so never mind. I was thinking we needed another tambo track, but we don't. Let's make everything small so we can see it. And let's get rid of this click. And so now we just need to make sure that all our plugins are on the proper instruments. So in the 10-set mix video, I disabled all my plugins and sort of went from scratch, but we don't have a lot of time today, so I think we're just going to leave them on and show all our inserts. That would help. Okay. Yeah, and just kind of go for it here. So because all these are leads, these are all settings from his previous song, so they should all be pretty reasonably good, but we'll see. And then let's just sort of get a rough balance happening. Let's see. Electric guitars. What are these all doing? This one's not sending yet. Some of these we're going to have to just, make sure they're sending to the proper mix bus. So actually we'll just go through and blanket send everything to the mix bus again, just to make sure it's routed in the right direction, because we imported a new mix bus. So some of these things, even though they say they're setting to mix bus, they're setting to the old mix bus. It's a little bit confusing. We'll just make sure anything that says it's sending to mix bus is in fact sending to the mix bus. All right, and then even this guy is controlling the mix bus input. Cool. So let's just do. Oh yeah, that's right. Just gonna copy these over.
Those are two different takes. It's not like two mics.
Yeah, these are two separate takes. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. I guess actually we'll check our groups. So this VCA should be controlling all of these tracks. It is. This VCA should be controlling all of these. It's not controlling this one, so we just need to add that.
I gotta upgrade to Pro Tools, whatever this is. 12?
Yeah, this is 12.
Shoot.
So we'll modify our guitars group. Excuse me. Adding in whatever this track was called, Al E guitar, double consolidated. There we go. Now this is now controlling all these. Excuse me. And lead vox should be controlling all the lead vox. It's not controlling this one, which is called Dylan Breakdown. So let's add that in. Modify our lead vocal group down at the bottom left there. What was it called? Dylan BD2. tuned. Okay. He's all good to go now. Let's hit save so we don't lose everything. And then all these backgrounds need to be in the background group, which we don't have yet. So we'll create that. Control G, BG, and set our BG VCA to BG group. And now it's controlling all these, moves them up and down, all that stuff. Cool. Okay. Let's set that back to 0. Okay, so the other thing we should do actually is check for volume automation. So if I just hold Alt, switch all the tracks over to volume automation mode, and just clear it where we see it. Because that's all from the old song. We don't want any of that here. Okay, so it looks like we're good. So now we can go back to waveform. So we'll hold Alt, switch back to waveform view. Perfect. All right, so now we'll just start rough balancing and go from there.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. The fellas stop and stare, but she won't bat an eye. She
Check the
knows
mix
just what
bus.
she's doing, but doesn't have the track. Grabs a shot of Jack and downs it fast. Stomps her boots to the beat, she's never turning back. She's looking over here, but staying over there. Play the game and it ain't even fair. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high.
Cool. So let's get these backgrounds happening. Disable this background group. So we'll just steal his
Come on, baby, go, go, go.
the lead vocal chain. We'll just steal it.
One move, I already know. When the sun goes down on this town tonight,
We don't need reverb on any of these
come on, baby,
because that's the old reverb send. We don't want spread either.
on, baby, go, go, go.
Actually, wasn't even moving them to the right thing here. So let's move them over to the. I'm just holding Alt, clicking and dragging. Oops. Don't hold Alt and say no insert. You'll delete all the inserts on all your tracks.
Fun.
Yeah, not good.
Come on, baby, go, go, go.
All right. So we're just looking for. We're gonna look for the resonant sort of bumps that we want to maybe get rid of on my backup vocal here.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. Come on, baby, go, go, go. Come on, baby, go, go, go.
Pretty noticeable in there, so we'll just get rid of that. -1, flatten it out. It's not a huge change really. See if there's more.
Come on, baby, go, go, go.
You can hear that, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, baby, go, go, go.
So if you go too high up, you start hitting just the frequencies you actually want, but I think that one we can get rid of. It kind of sounds weird.
Come on, baby, go, go, go.
I just know from my own voice that I tend to have this weird bump at 600.
Come
Ha.
on, baby, go, go, go.
So if you're gonna do a bigger cut like this, you want to sort of keep it more narrow.
I already know.
It's pretty subtle, but like
Come on, baby, go, go, go. Come on,
Here, it just gets a little tubbier when I bypass that. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm not even doing this on the screen so people can see. Whoops, my bad. So what do we do? So I'll just show that again because I was doing it on the wrong screen. So you just move this around. And I brought that down about -4. So you're just sort of doing that with different points on the EQ here. So this one here. That's where we found that. So we just brought it down to -1, flattened it out. Cool. All right. So now we can copy this over, get rid of this old compressor. Actually, let's make sure it's hitting the compressors the way we want. So we can actually boost it a little bit. We're getting a little more comp there. That's hitting pretty good. Yeah. Okay, great. So now we can copy all these over. Holding Alt and clicking and dragging. And we'll just do that for all these backing tracks. They're all roughly the same stuff. And if we hear that they need something different, we can go in and look. Whoops. All right. So I guess just give people an idea of the standard vocal chain that we're using here. EQ to get rid of the little points that are resonating. We got a SSL boosting 16K. That's pretty much it. Roll off the low end and compressing a little bit, 3 to 6. We have a de-esser at 2K, just pulling out some of that. Just some of that harshness in the voice. Maybe bring that in a bit more, actually. Just sort of softens the nasality of it and stuff. Yeah, so we'll actually get a little more aggressive with that. Let's copy it over. And then here's our de-esser for the actual S's. Probably don't need to change this value because he's a dude, I'm a dude. Let's try and find a part with actual S in it.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's a reasonable amount of reduction there. And then we've got another compressor really smashing it. Looking for 12 to 24 dBs. And then an RVox just to compress even a little bit more, just a little bit. And then some distortion on a more rockin' track. We're just adding 0.7 distortion on the lo-fi plugin. Without it, it's just not as interesting to listen to. Just loses some volume, loses some edge. And then it's going to the Vox reverb and the Vox delay sends, and these are automated, so I probably actually have to go and look at that as well. So let's see. Yeah, so these are all automated from the previous song as well. So let's see. We want the... Whoops. Oh, gosh. No. Don't do that. Okay. So this is like our -12 is our verse kind of volume, and then 0 is our chorus volume for this delay. So just go in and find a good spot to bring this up to 0. And bring all this down. Oh, that didn't work. Let's bring this down. Alrighty, and it's not your first rodeo. Probably don't want that to have quite as much delay, so we'll put that down to -12. Not your first rodeo. Cool. And then right here we can bring it back up. Baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. This is all good.
Try to work your charm, but she ain't living in your arms. Hot summer sun, back of a pickup
That's a different track doing that, so we can leave this alone.
and the volume up. Come on, baby, go, go, go.
So this is all fine for the delay. So now I can just take that delay send, which is right here, Vox delay, and I can hold Alt, click and drag, just copy it over. So it's going to say it's overwriting our automation, which is what we want. We want all of these to have the same automation in terms of the delay. Except for the breakdown vocal, we're going to have to adjust that. Whoops. Little misclick there.
You're screwing it up, Al. You're botching this.
Watching this. We're losing all this time. Okay. So now, just to see, if we look here, Vox delay level, it's the same, right? These are obviously zoomed at different amounts, so it's going to look a little different, but it is the same. 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 So for this breakdown vocal,
Hot summer sun, back of a pickup
it's too much. Too much. So let's bring that down to -12, or verse sort of level. Cool. Then we can copy this Vox delay over to our backgrounds as well, so that they have the proper automation. Our approach was a little bit laggy since we're recording, so I'm struggling a little bit more than normal. All right, there we go. Now reverbs, I believe, are all the same level. Yeah, those are not changed. So, okay, so we can hide all this stuff now. So we got good delays. So the other delay that's pretty whack is on this slide. So let's check that out. Probably just bring it way down. For the previous song, it made sense, but for this song, it doesn't seem like it does.
she's got.
Just the feedback sound.
I like that.
So, a lot less egregious now. Cool. Okay. Let's check out how that's sounding now.
First rodeo, one move, already know.
Actually, okay, good. I didn't check if the panning was correct on the outputs to the recording software. Fortunately, it is.
Oh, it's not your first rodeo. The fellas stop and stare.
All right, cool. So, sounding pretty good, actually. So we'll go through the drums real quick and just show people what's going on here. Let's just loop a section. So this kicks, I already did the whole thing with the finding the resonant buildup and just taking it out. Just cutting it out. While still having a nice sort of thick low end. We don't want to take out too much of the stuff below 100 because that's sort of what we like. And make sure our gates are triggering. Looks pretty good. A little bit of EQ, adding a little bit of 3K. And a little bit of 35 with a 50, whatever this is, low pass or high pass filter to create this resonant bump thing that apparently this thing does. I just pulled up a kick preset, to be honest, so it's all good. Cut a little bit of 250. With just tightens it up a little bit, a little less boxy, and add a little bit of distortion. Just for some extra juice. Do the exact same thing to the out kick. All these things are exactly the same. snare, slightest little gate, just 5 dB, just to make it punch out a little bit and make the hi-hat chill out between snare hits and stuff like that. And I've got choice between these two EQs, and I chose the SSL in the last track, so I'll just leave it here for this track. We're adding a little bit of 200 or whatever, and some 1K, and some 4 something K, and some 8K. So just another snare preset I pulled up, and I just sort of played around with the knobs until it sounded good to me. But I didn't change the frequency values. I think these are all default to this Waves snare preset. Distortion. But the thing that really makes... And then I copy those. This is the same for the snare bottom. Gate is opening well, so that's good. But yeah, the real thing that makes it sound huge is this trigger. So this is on an aux send. It's like a reverb. Yeah. So... it's just playing this sound of this Black Beauty energy mic. This is a Slate thing. So, not using a ton of it, but just add some width on the left and right, right? If I bring it up, you can really go crazy with it if you want. But we're not at the moment. Check our toms out. Make sure those are working. So same thing here. I just did a little bit of triggering. So this is a 50-50 split between the dry tom and then this tom that's tuned. So you can see I tuned it -30. So if I bypass this, boom boom, right? And then boom boom, right? Similar note. It's maybe actually a little flat. Maybe I can bring it up. Just want it to be the same, right? Oops. Not really a quick way to do this, is there? Yeah, that sounds about right. So 28. And then that's the reverb of that sound.
That's
so it adds a little size to it.
Is this just trigger 1 or trigger 2?
This is trigger 2. Mm-hmm. So here we can check that again. Something like that, right? But like several octaves down. So that's a little flat, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So 36, 36. Let's make these the same because I'm assuming they're from the same drum, right? Cool. So songs. So I guess we're missing the first hit of this. So we can bring that, not this one. We can bring the detail in. It's kind of get a little flammy. Tambourine, just doing some high passing, some limiting just to make it louder. Probably bring it down a bit. And then all the kicks, snares, and toms go into this compressor here, which is like a multiple, what do you call that? Parallel compression. And it's also going through this EQ, just brightening some stuff and adding a little bit of thickness to it. So if I take that out, it's a big, big part of the sound, right? It's just adding a lot of volume. Not super worried about clip lights with drums because they're drums. And then what do we got? Overheads. Overheads are pretty hot. I could see bringing those down a bit. Adding 12K. Just an overhead preset I just pulled up. Little compression just to tuck the snare in a bit. And again, just some limiting to make them louder. And to tuck the snare in even a little bit more. We're gonna bring these down a titch. And then room mic straight through a reverb just to add some size. And this was a mono room, so putting it through this reverb plugin makes it stereo-ish. Not really, but gives the impression of such. And there's kind of a boom, boom, boom thing going on. Maybe we can... maybe you want to pull that out. Yeah, that sounds better. And then we're just pulling out some annoying frequencies. Stuff you don't really want to hear. And same for this. They're just copied over from the overheads as well. So maybe we want to add in that. We're not hearing that same wumpy thing, so we'll just leave those alone. Cool. Bass is pretty loud. We're just rolling off some top, a little bit of bottom, get it out of the way of the kick. Adding some 70 for this thickness. Without that, doesn't have that same depth to it. And a little bit of compression to just rein it in. Turn it down a touch. I want to split the panning on these. They're a bit hot, probably. And then these acoustics. So all these guitars are getting the same treatment, just a little bit of 7K, a little bit of 100 for thickness and brightness, and then rolling off some super top stuff and some lows, just make room for the bass and kick and stuff. They're all getting the same treatment. This Will guitar doesn't need to be going to delay, so we'll mute that, or make it inactive rather. The slide is already going to delay. And then these acoustics. Let's see. So these. A little bit of 12K brightness, a little bit of honk, getting rid of that. Compression. And they're going to some reverb as well, which is right here. Very subtle. Just adding a little bit of size. It's really not doing anything. But see, it gets completely out of control pretty quickly, so we don't need too much of that. And then the organ, just get it out of the way of the bass, cut a little bit of the junk, 350, and roll a bit of top off so that it's not getting in the way of the vocals. It's pretty hot though. And if we look at the vocal here, in terms of effects, you can try to work your charm. Here it is dry. So let's get into a chorus or something where we can really hear what's going on. Come on, baby, go, go, go! Right, so it's going to a spread channel, which is like a left-right dual delay. One side's 30, one side's 60, very, very fast. So it just hits both your ears. Just slightly different times, tricks your brain into thinking that it's wider, so you can hear what this is doing here. Come on, baby, go, go, go! If you have headphones on. Come on, baby, go, go, go! It's not your first rodeo. So it makes it sound a little bit wider. Obviously, if you turn it up, it's going to sound weird. Come on, baby, go, go, go! But that's it. But if you bury it. Come on, baby, go, go, go! It's not your first rodeo. As soon as you mute it, the vocal just snaps to the center. It really feels smaller and more mono. So I like to have that on the leads. Come a little bit of reverb. On, baby, go, go, go! That's
It's not your first rodeo.
preset that I stole.
I already know.
And then, of course, our delay. This preset came up myself. Actually, we might be able to slow this down.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first.
I'd like to try for like a quarter note pulse, so let's see how that sounds. No analog.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first.
Could be good. See how that feels in the track. And then we already went over these backgrounds. And then the mix bus, a little bit of low shelf, tiny little bit of high shelf, because at 20K, you can't even hear that frequency, so it just saves you a little bit of headroom. Mix bus compressor on the, I think this is a preset that I may have made myself, but 10 millisecond attack, 2-to-1 ratio, really fast release, so very transparent. And then the inflator at 30%.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move,
So adds a little bit of extra juice. And then you got the L3 or whatever, L1, L2, doesn't matter.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo.
And you just want to be grabbing the absolute peaks of the material that you're working on.
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your.
You might be hitting it a little bit too hard. So that's where this master fader comes in. It's controlling how much volume is going into the final mix bus channel. So if I pull this down, right, I can make it super quiet. And then as I bring it up, it starts to hit. But starts to get real crazy real fast. So, and it's got a limiter on it as well, just to avoid any clipping. Got a limiter on this one as well. All right, cool. So let's do. I don't know. What do you think? How's the balance
Sounds good.
tickling you?
Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. The fellas stop and stare, but she won't bat an eye. She knows just what she's doing, but doesn't have to track. Grabs a shot of Jack and downs it fast. Stomps her boots to the beat, she's never turning back. She's looking over here, but staying over there. Knows just how to play the game and it ain't even fair. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. You can try to work your charm. Try to work your charm, but she ain't living in your arms. Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. It's not your first rodeo. Nah, it's not your first rodeo.
Cool. Organ's probably a little hot still, eh? I'm gonna fade it in when it starts here.
Cash, she's giving all she's got.
Oh, it's already automatically doing it because I printed the volume that way. That's true.
There you
actually.
go.
So I don't need to worry about that.
Daisy,
Doesn't matter.
she's giving all she's got. Southern auburn hair, that California smile. But when she looks at you, she'll make you go the extra mile. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been
Cool. I'm gonna take a listen through the speakers, and so I'm gonna mute the mic for a sec.
hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Wearing Daisy Dukes, shirt tied up in a knot. Dancing to Johnny Cash, she's giving all she's got. Southern auburn hair, that California smile. But when she looks at you, she'll make you go the extra mile. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. The fellas stop and stare, but she won't bat an eye. She knows just what she's doing, but doesn't have to try. Grabs a shot of Jack and downs it fast. Stomps her boots to the beach, she's never turning back. She's looking over here, but staying over there. Knows just how to play the game and it ain't even fair. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. You can try to work your charm. Try to work your charm. But she ain't living in your arms. Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up.
All right, we back. So if I do this, that should disable the speakers now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the vocals were like maybe a little bit loud, and the guitars maybe a little quiet. So I adjusted for those, and you can see that I can mix with just these VCA faders and take entire groups of tracks and move them all at the same time. Makes things super easy.
Oh my god.
His breakdown vocal is too quiet, so let's find a good volume for that. His main vocal is at +4, so why don't we start there?
Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move.
Just what did I do to my organ track?
Ha! Ha! Can you
Weird.
just drag?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes?
That
That's
was
weird.
Weird.
Don't remember doing that. Anyways.
Subconscious is always right.
Yeah, cut the organ out is I guess what I'm supposed to do, I
That's
guess.
what
right?
God wants.
Yeah. Okay. How about this now?
Hot summer sun, back of
It is a little loud still.
got the tailgate down and the volume up. Come
Still hitting it a little too hard if I boost that. Okay. Cool. So yeah, let's ride the vocal now. So we can do that with the. We can either do that with the lead vocal VCA or as a group. So I think what I'll do is group these two. They already are grouped from when I was editing. Let's go to volume. So, yeah. So now we're just looking for the words that aren't quite coming out. We buried the vocal a little bit in the mix, so now we can really hear what's not poking out and just boost those a little bit, and then it'll make the vocals sit a little bit better, I think.
Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Wearing Daisy Duck.
So he's a pretty consistent singer, so there won't be too much stuff, but
And the volume up. Wearing Daisy Duck. And Daisy.
any of these little syllables, little words, lower notes,
Wearing Daisy Duck.
this makes it feel like he's closer to you.
Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got pickup truck. Pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume.
Might be too much, actually. Bring that in a bit.
Pickup truck, she's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Wearing Daisy Dukes, shirt tied up in a knot, dancing to Johnny Cash. She's giving all she's got, and all she's
I think I like where the delay's at.
giving all she's got. She's got.
Try to not touch the S sounds too much, so those can get annoying. Just try to get the vowel in between.
Giving all she's got. Southern Auburn.
Boost this a little too. It's just half dB, just tiny little rides like this.
Giving all she's got. Southern Auburn hair. Southern Auburn hair. That California smile. That California smile. California. California smile. Smile.
As more instruments get introduced, obviously, we have to do a little bit more.
California smile. Oh, where she looks at. Oh, where she looks. Oh, where she looks at you. She looks at you. She looks at you. She'll make it. She looks at you. She'll make it. She'll make. She looks at you. She'll make it go. She'll make it. She'll make it go. Looks at you. She'll make it go the extra mile. Go the extra mile. She'll make it go the extra mile. Come on.
Cool. Then I want to bring down these Bee Gees.
Got Southern Auburn hair, that California smile. Oh, where she
Just kind of want them like secret Bee Gees, just kind of in there. Just feel them.
come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first on, baby, go, go. Come on, baby, go, go, go.
And then another cool thing to try sometimes is just the end of this word here. We can just boost kind of a lot and then fade into it. Oops. So that might be a little too much, but you can hear it gives a little extra energy and emotion to the voice. You can hear that at the end.
It's not your first rodeo.
And then that whole line needs to be louder.
It's not your first rodeo.
And then there's a couple moments within it as well. Here.
It's not your first rodeo.
D. And then we do the same thing here with just the end of the word. Boost it a bit. Fade into it. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Maybe let's not do that. Same deal here. So, you know, all the way up to there we can probably boost. So it's like, get that up a bit. B. When the. So I can actually just put maybe one here. Just move from the other dots. Just maybe a half dB. Oh, jeez. As for people who don't know, too, if you hold Control, you get the exact values as you go up and down with the mouse. Otherwise, it goes super fast. Probably just boost that whole line. It's kind of meticulous, but it really makes the vocals sit well. And we've only been at it for, I don't know, almost an hour. And I talked a lot. Kind of want to bring that up a bit. Oh, so much rock. R-A-W-K. Guess we don't need to do that really this time because the band dies down. Yeah. Cool. Let's keep it going. We're almost there because we can copy paste the choruses. There's a lot of words in this song. I thought this was going to be easier. Man, if you ever watch some like hip hop sessions, every single word is a different volume. It's so crazy. was watching one with Cardi B's producer on Mix of the Masters, and he had a ride on the lead vocal. Then he sends it to an aux, rides it again, sends it to another aux, rides it again, because he just wants to keep adding different ride moves and doesn't want to sort of go over the ones he's already done.
Sure.
So just for workflow, it's faster, right? But what you end up with is just so many little tiny moves. Every single word is exactly the right volume. So that's what we're trying to do here. Make hip hop. Close. We're getting close. Really need that S. All right, cool. Let's copy the chorus since the choruses are the same. This one we can do a little extra boost at the end. Actually, we can boost this whole line. This is going to the bridge. Oops. Let's get this last note up a bit over the band. There should be backgrounds there as well. Here they are. It's a good spot to just sort of boost the last little dying seconds of this note. Get those later. Boost this. Get rid of the S though. And then that one we can just copy from here.
Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Come on, baby, go.
This organ's too loud.
Got the tailgate down and the volume up. Come on, baby, go, go, go.
Cool. Let's
Not your first rodeo. It's not your first rodeo. It's not your first rodeo.
bring that whole thing up.
It's not your first. Your first rodeo. It's not your first rodeo.
Let's bring just this note up of that performance, maybe. Yeah.
It's not your first.
We can copy that as well.
Not your first.
Uh,
It's not your first. It's not your first. It's not your first rodeo.
we don't need this to be hotter. Or this.
Nah, it's not your first rodeo. Nah, it's not your first. Nah, it's not. Nah, it's not your first rodeo. Nah, it's not your first. Nah, it's not your first rodeo.
There we go. There we go. It's a mix. Oh yeah, we gotta get these two.
Try to work your charm, but she
So these are grouped, so we can
try to work your.
a little extra there. Oops, what's going on? Sure. Let's get it here as well. Not sure why these are grouped as something else. Boost this a bit as well. And then we can boost just the end of these words. Jeez, this is annoying.
Every time.
Every time. Hey, at least Pro Tools hasn't crashed yet.
Yeah.
In before Pro Tools crashes. Okay, so that's all the automation I wanted to do. That was a lot, but there we go. So pretty much have a finished mix here. That was about how long have we been recording for? An
Same.
hour and 3 minutes. It's pretty
Man,
good.
you said hour mix though.
I know, a little bit overtime. Well, we talked a bunch.
Hour and 3 minute mix doesn't have as much ring to it.
So let's have a listen and see what if we want to change anything. The other nice trick I'll do on a listen through is I'll flip left and right channels on the mix bus, and now we're hearing it backwards, left and right, and that can just sort of reset the brain. You'd be like, oh, I didn't realize that was so loud.
Hot summer sun, back of a pick. Hot summer. Hot summer.
Okay, our snare verb is getting triggered by this stick clicks here. So let's turn that off. Let's turn our groups off as well. Go groups. So we can either mute the snare verb or we can just take the send away. Can we? Here it is here. Snare verb level. So until the chorus comes in, we don't need to sample any verb. What we could do though is add a new send. How do I do that from here? I think I gotta flip to my mix window. Could add a send to the just general verb track. That could be kind of cool. Is that not working? Track. It's gotta be verb 1, doesn't it? There it is. Whoops. Don't want to change that, but maybe push this a bit. Cool. And then once the actual snare comes in and we start once we start getting the real snare in, we can just pull it out. So let's do that. So that's gone. Okay, that's our snare verbal. Okay, waveform. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, good. That's a cool addition.
Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Wearing Daisy Dukes, shirt tied up in a knot. Dancing to Johnny Cash, she's giving all she's got. Southern auburn hair, that California smile. The way she looks at you, she'll make you go the extra mile. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. The fellas stop and stare, but she won't bat an eye. She knows just what she's doing, but doesn't have to track. Grabs a shot of Jack and downs it fast. Stomps her boots to the beat, she's never turning back. She's looking over here, but staying over there. Knows just how to play the game and it ain't even fair. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. You could try to work your charm, try to work your charm, but she ain't living in your arms. Hot summer sun, back of a pickup truck. She's got the tailgate down and the volume up. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. One move, I already know. You've been around here before. When the sun goes down on this town tonight, you'll be dancing by those high beam lights. Come on, baby, go, go, go. It's not your first rodeo. It's not your first rodeo. Nah, it's not your first rodeo.
Cool. I'm just gonna kill this organ shot. I really don't like it.
Tailgate down and the volume up.
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it.
Any
I've got nothing.
notes?
I've got
Any mixed
nothing.
notes? All right. Well, there you go, folks. Finished song. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the future for some more videos and some more podcasts. What do we want to shout out? Anything?
Dylan?
Dylan, yeah, Dylan Wallace, and this song is called Rodeo.
Also
Uh,
tends to mix.
check them out. Yeah, check out the 10-step mix if you want a more in-depth look at how to mix a song. And our podcasts are available at musicguypodcast.com or anywhere you get podcasts. Check us out on Instagram, Music Guy Podcast, Alro Music, Bruno the Meek, and Facebook as well. And Twitter. Okay, bye.